This is the story of an eccentric undertaking about the preservation and concurrent bastardization of the ancient natural world. This is the tale of a home improvement project that challenges constraints and defies purpose. It will push you past the point of logic and far from the wellspring of human compassion. It's the story of a crackpot and a genius, and if neither, then nothing but a nut who just doesn't know when they're cracked. When the game is stormwater mitigation, the house holds all bets. But can she save her house and save herself? Let's learn how. This is a French drain. A French drain is a mechanism for directing the flow of water. It's comprised of three main parts: gravel, a perforated pipe, and a sock that encases the pipe. The sock and the pipe both keep water going through and flowing where you want, and keep dirt and other debris out of the pipe. This is used to divert water away from where you don't want it and use it in other places where you do, perhaps a garden or a fish pond. The main purpose is to get the stormwater away from your foundation and reduce moisture in the basement. That is the most typical use of a residential French drain. So what is the mechanism by which it works? Well, the gravel surrounds the pipe and it keeps it clean. And as the water seeps through the ground near the drain, the drainage rock, or the gravel, lets the water through and it keeps dirt out. The pipe slopes downwards to the direction you want the water to flow. And the sock, which keeps out the extra debris, lets everything smoothly flow until you do your maintenance about every other year. A French drain comes in many shapes and sizes. There's a surface French drain, there's a blind French drain, a trench French drain, but really they're all the same. They move water from where you don't want it to where you do. Well, so here's my house. I bought it recently and it has some problems. One of those problems is the grading of the land around the house. It's at the bottom of a hill right above the town run. And the water flows right through my house, except it can't. It gets trapped by the porch, and where it tries to work its way into the house, into the basement, by seeping against the foundation and the mortar holding the rubble foundation together. Let's recap. Here's my house. Here's what we know. It's a 1900 limestone foundation. It's above the town run, which puts it in a watershed. It's built where two hills converge. The poor grading directs water straight into the house. The patio traps the water. I hate gutters on the porch roof, so I took them off, and that didn't help anything. And the soil, that doesn't help either. It's West Virginia red clay, which means it holds the water. Then we find out the house is built on bedrock. Bedrock everywhere. Appalachian bedrock, just a few inches under the surface. Everywhere. What's Appalachian bedrock? Well, bedrock is the solid rock that's right underneath the soil, and it's underneath all the loose materials that are on Earth's surface. Who cares? Me, I care. I care because it helps with the stability of my house, despite the fact that it's in a floodplain. I care because I love gardening and I love plants, and right now the soil's really bad. But exposing the bedrock, aka the outcropping, could be a great source of extra nitrogen for my plants. And also, rocks are pretty, and these are really cool. The Appalachian bedrock is sedimentary rock that serves as a foundation. It was formed during the plate collision. Nearly 480 million years ago, the Appalachians came into existence when the plates collided to form Pangaea. So let's take a look at the stormwater situation outside of my house when it does rain. So this is the point of convergence, right at the corner of the patio. And you can see between the roof of the porch and the two hills directing the water downward, plus the rain, it's just out of control. So much water. This is where I was digging the French drain when I exposed the bedrock, and it really, really, really interfered with my original plan, which let's take a look at what that was. So my plan was to put two French drains, one along the front of the house and one along the side. A along the front and B along the side. The water would then flow around the house down into the stream instead of straight through it, destroying my basement. The captured water would be sent somewhere useful. In pipe B, it will send the water down to a pretty little rain garden, and same with pipe A. So when I started digging for French drain A, it wasn't that difficult and it actually went pretty well. Drain B, let's take a look at how they match up. Here's an adherence to the original drain installation plan. Now let's say that perfect 10 is the control. How did drain A go? Well, I'd say about a 6 out of 10. Not bad, not bad. Drain B, pretty bad. So let's review each of those sides. Side A, just one obstacle. That's it, a big root. And that was pretty easy to rectify. I dug out the small ones and cut them, and anything bigger than my wrist, I left. A local tree expert, Sean Walker, weighed in on how to keep your tree healthy despite having to disturb the root systems. So that was done. French drains in, covered with gravel, all buttoned up. That was a breeze. Looking pretty. Pretty pleased with myself. My ultimate goal was to not disturb any of the bedrock and put the French drain in and have the two work together. So let's start drain B. Here we started digging the trench along the side of the house, which then flows to the back of the house, where you see right here. This is where I plan to adapt to the bedrock situation and put a little fish pond. I felt that there was a rock right here. I just never knew how deep it would actually go. I still don't. So here's where we were before, back here. And I started digging and I just kept going. I want to find the margins of this rock. This is before all the digging, and you can see just how flat it was. I had no idea what I would find lurking under it. But it kept getting cooler the more I dug, till we had our proper excavation site. It was here that I started to expose what I think was an original rock walkway or patio. Which you can see right back here. But the rock itself just kept getting cooler. Here you can see the patio or the walkway. And I tried to excavate the walkway, leaving the stones intact. That's where I decided to put the fish pond, and I thought the walkway would be a great border for it. That way I could harness the stormwater and it could feed the fish pond, and I could water plants from there, theoretically. Here's a close-up look at what we uncovered. Pretty cool, huh? Imagine all this filled with water and fish. Pretty spectacular. This was my dream goal, and I'm still working towards it. A waterfall fed from above goes around the rock, diverted into a rain garden, and on this other side of the rock goes into the fish pond. I'm still not sure exactly what it's going to look like at the end, but the rocks will reveal it. So, let me tell you about all the digging I did and all the digging I didn't do. I used a method that I like to call water digging.
Pokemon, also known as Pocket Monsters in Japanese, is a Nintendo company which makes trading card games and Nintendo video games. There's a wide range of Pokemon video games and trading cards that people can collect and play, but one of the most valiant and awesome things about Pokemon is the fact that they make Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are a special type of card, which is a trading card that has a Pokemon that is featured in lots of Pokemon games, such as Pokemon EV or Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, or Diamond and Pearl, which is the common name. And these cards contain many types of Pokemon, and each Pokemon season, there's new Pokemon that are introduced official to the season that they make. For example, in a Hisuian Pokemon, which is basically when you go back in time and you're in Hisuia, which is basically a very old place, you basically, it's all these new Pokemon. They're like Weirdeer, which is a basically ancient version of Snatler. It's not ancient, it's more of like an old-timey version of Snatler. It has longer legs, it's slightly furrier, allows it to move across land faster. That's basically what it says about it. And the final bit about that is that also Pokemon, they're very unique to their surroundings, and the card game mirrors a lot after the video game, but the HP or status conditions and things like that do not match any of that, and those kind of things need to be worked on and fixed. They need to start getting what Pokemon has in their video games and start putting it into their card games, because I think it could be a bit more intricate, more like adding a sequel to a book that actually advises what happened in the last book, or having a book where the last adventures and knowledge is not still like a random storyline.
Okay, well, thank you, Sam. That was very informative about how this French drain was installed.